The following is a live broadcast of a Lone Star community radio program, recorded and broadcasted live on irlonestar.com, Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and facebook.com/irlonestar. For more information on this show, please visit our show page at irlonestar.com/shows. To sponsor or donate to this program, visit our donate page at irlonestar.com/donate, or email us at lscrstudios@gmail.com, or give us a call at 936-666-1084. Lone Star Community Radio production and broadcast is possible by folks like you. So sponsor and donate today.
You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZWLP Conroe and 106.1 KZCCLP Conroe, and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Extension Hour. I'm Amy Ressler, County Extension Agent, Family and Community Health, and this is the Extension Hour where we highlight Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. We talk about our people, our programs, our partners, and we have a people with us today. So on some of the shows, we have had other extension agents who've come to join us because I think that it's really helpful to hear about how extension is done in other counties. So every county in Texas has an extension service, has an extension agent who serves them. And then some of our counties that are larger have a few different county extension agents who serve that county. And we try to do programming that relates specifically to the counties that we're in, but also there are some things that are very similar across counties. So we have Norma Munoz with us today. So Norma, I get on a roll and I start la 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 all about extension because this, this is actually my favorite part of the week is doing the Extension Hour. But say hi and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
So thank you, Amy. Yes, my name is Norma Munoz. I am the Family and Community Health County Extension Agent in Nueces County. And for those of you who are not familiar where Nueces County is, it's Coastal Bend, Corpus Christi is actually the largest city in the county. I've been in Extension about 16 years or so. Prior to my appointment in Nueces County, I worked for another part of Extension, Better Living for Texans. Maybe you've heard of it or not before in the past. I was the regional program manager for a few years for the South region at that time. And then before that, I was in another county, in my startup county in Aransas County. So I've been in Extension and done quite a few different jobs, I guess, different positions, but have been in Nueces probably about the last 8 years or so. It's not as big as Montgomery County, but still we're an urban initiative county, and so the clientele is very diverse, as is in many counties. And like you said, Amy, there are a lot of things that we do differently because we're trying to meet the needs of our clientele. But then also a lot of things that we do that are basically banner programs. A little bit about my educational background. I've got a graduate degree in ag science and an undergrad degree in human sciences, human development and family studies, both from Texas A&M University Kingsville. So that's where I come from.
Yes. So did you always want to be an extension agent, or you kind of fell into it?
Well, always knew what it was, and of course my kids grew up in the program, but I kind of fell into it because I thought, what do I do in my degree? And I think a lot of us, we go into school thinking one thing, and then of course things change, and a lot of times, we don't always use our degree, right? We go and get this degree, and then we end up doing something else. And I, along the line, I thought, what am I going to do with this? And is this something? And it really just is a really good fit. I like the educational aspect of it, but I also like the if you want to say informal part of the education process, the not being in a typical classroom and not having that same thing every day or day-to-day routine, but allowing us the ability to choose those audiences and what program we're doing to actually help them. So I like that part of it. Yeah, so kind of fell into it a little bit and kind of knew.
And you stuck around. Yeah.
Yeah.
So after a few years.
It worked. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the motto tagline that we use is helping Texans better their lives.
Right.
I mean, that's really what Extension is all about, helping Texans better their lives. And so, the background of Extension, it's been around for 100 years.
Yes.
And it's amazing, like, how many people say, I've never heard of Extension before. Do you experience that in Corpus Christi as well?
Yeah. Yes. You've got those partners, volunteers, clients that know all about Extension and they're your greatest cheerleader. And then you've got those individuals that have that blank look like, I never heard of you. And it's like, we've been around for over 100 years. It's unfortunate, but I think it's something that gets said a lot is like, it's, the best kept secret. And it's not a secret.
Right,
like
we don't want to be a secret.
We don't want to be a secret. We want people to know that, what we're doing and what's out there and available. And like you said, we do have representation in all 254 counties, but depending on the county size, you may just have an ag agent, or you may have, several other agents. In Nueces County, it's really diverse. We're large enough to where we have several agents. So we've got myself. In addition, we've got an ag and natural resource agent. We have a horticulture agent, which I know you have one here as well. We have, of course, our 4-H and youth development agent. And then we have 2 Better Living for Texans agents. They kind of divide their time. One manages the gardening program for youth and adults, and the other one manages the nutrition education. And then we have a health agent that is specific to our Healthy South Texas initiative that started a few years ago.
Yeah,
so.
And we want to talk more about Healthy South Texas, but before we do that, just for comparison, folks might be wondering, okay, so that's what Nueces County has. Now remind me again what Montgomery County has. So we do have a family and community health agent, which is me, and then we've got one BLT agent, the Better Living for Texans. We have the horticulture agent, like you mentioned, the ag agent, similar to what you have. We have a 4-H agent, and then we also have an urban youth development agent. And then we're very fortunate, too, to have a 4-H program assistant that's completely county funded and a family and community health program assistant that's completely county funded. So it helps us extend that outreach as well.
Exactly. And like I mentioned earlier, Montgomery County is almost double Nueces County. But it really puts a perspective on me just being reminded that even though you're almost twice the size of our county, we've got just about as many agents. And so that really is helpful in just knowing how, we are able to get out there and program and share that information and share our experiences in education and not limited to, it's a lot of work. And sometimes it's having those extra people, especially when we're doing like multidisciplinary type things. Everybody gets involved, and so the more you have, the easier it is.
Right, because there's a lot of our programs that do have some interdisciplinary overlap. Gardening is one.
Right.
There's nutrition that's involved in gardening, and then there's the agriculture aspect, and then the horticulture. So lots of overlap. And then often we also do things as multi-county. So there'll be a few counties that get together to help extend outreach.
Right.
Because, teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes.
And then even regionally, so we're in District 9. Montgomery County's in District 9. Nueces County is in District 11.
Correct.
But together we're in the Southeast region.
Yes.
And sometimes we actually even do regional things as well, which I think has been interesting, like, in the current situation, right, with in the COVID era. Anyway, so it was a Freudian slip, huh?
Yeah.
In the era that we're in now, having to do things more virtually, we're having to adapt a lot of the ways that we do things. And so just, the traditional extension, come on down to the extension office, let me teach you something. That doesn't work as well
fitting
anymore.
Right now. Yeah. And I think it actually is, it's given us in District 11, myself and my fellow, counterparts in the other counties, because there's 18 counties in District 11, we've actually worked a lot closer developing some of those virtual programs. We came up with this Focus Friday, and we can talk about that if you want in a little while as well. But we've had to kind of, lean on each other and learn things. I think that in the past, it'd be like, okay, well, what do you think about doing this virtually or, via technology? And it's like, oh, maybe not. But, right now it's like, yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
So we've worked really close. And I can really see where, as you mentioned, we're both in the same region, that it's going to allow us to work a little bit closer, across those county lines, across those district lines in the region, because even though I may work with you, or maybe some of those bordering counties work together across district lines. Right now, the way we're doing things, it just gives us even more opportunity to share our experiences and our education and further reach out, expand that reach even more, just because we are kind of stuck in that situation right now. And it's making it really hard. We've got restrictions where face-to-face just isn't working.
Right. So we're going to talk more about some of the things we do, the strengths, and we're going to tell some more of our secrets so people know about the kinds of things that we do in Extension. But we're going to take a little break first. This is the Extension Hour. We talk about our people, our programs, our partnerships. It's 104.5 and 106.1 and worldwide. Norma, we are worldwide on irlonestar.com podcast, so YouTube, Facebook, all of those kinds of things. So you can always go back and watch that. But we will be back right after this.
Family and community health programs provide science-based education designed to improve the overall health and wellness of individuals, families, and communities. Developed by experts and delivered locally, topics include child and adult health, nutrition, child care, financial management, passenger and community safety, and building strong families, all encouraging lifelong health and well-being for every person, every family, and every community. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
Our talk shows and music shows are looking for sponsors. Want to expand your brand awareness? Reach the hyper-local audience in Montgomery County? Lone Star Community Radio sponsorships accomplish this. Want to see our stats and rates? Check out irlonestar.com/sponsor for more information. Or call in and leave us a message at 936-647-3776.
Our talk shows and music shows are looking for sponsors. Want to expand your brand awareness? Reach the hyper-local audience in Montgomery County? The Lone Star Community Radio sponsorships accomplish this. Want to see our stats and rates? Check out irlonestar.com/sponsor for more information. Or call in and leave us a message at 936-647-3776 with your question. Get seen on TV or YouTube and heard on our podcast, FM, and internet radio. Sponsor your local radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
And welcome back. We are here at the Extension Hour. We're talking with Norma Munoz, who is the County Extension Agent for Family and Community Health in Nueces County. So we're like doing a compare and contrast, I think, just talking about the different programs. And so we got to meet Norma and know a little bit about her background and how she even became an Extension Agent. Because, yeah, sometimes I wonder, too, like, how did I get into this? So I did not, grow up in Extension at all. So I had no idea what it was until in college when I got ready, when I was getting close to graduating. Some of the folks came to campus to do some recruiting, and I was like, this sounds really cool. Yeah. And so here I am, 26 or 7 years later. I kind of lose count. It starts to blend together. But anyway, before we went to break, you were talking about some of the things that you do that are very similar. But you guys, in the mostly District 11, you've got some in 10 and 12 that participate in a program called Healthy South Texas.
Correct.
So let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so Healthy South Texas, we're at the beginning of our 6th year. So it started as an initiative with 27 South Texas counties. So mainly District 11, which we talked kind of coastal Bend, right under College Station down the coast, kind of straight down. And District 11 ends in Nueces County, which is the county I'm in, and then starts District 12, which is kind of all the way down to the border, following all the way up to Laredo, in that area. So there's, and then there's one county in District 9, which is Brazoria. So there's 27 counties in all, 13 and 11, 13 and 12. And this initiative started off with goals of reducing the instances of type 2 diabetes diagnosis. So really focusing on prevention and then some intervention. So with Healthy South Texas, came along a partner. So it's Extension, and then also our partner is the Texas A&M Health Science Center. So locally, that is headquartered in Corpus Christi, and it is, we call that locally the Coastal Bend Health Education Center, but it does run under Texas A&M Health Science Center. So they are the medical, if you'd say the medical component of it. We are the educational. We have, you know, like we talked about earlier, we've got representation in all 254 counties. So we've got the manpower to go out there and educate, which is what we do every day. And they've got the medical expertise. So seemed like a really good fit to be able to get out there and really get those programs out into the counties and actually implement both a medical side of it as well as just the preventative side, which is kind of what we teach in Extension too. We don't really, it's more preventative and lifestyle changes.
Right.
So like I said, started 5 years ago, and we do different types. So we do a lot of, and as it's, I guess I should say this, it's evolved, right? So start
things
off,
do.
right? As everything in life does.
You think you have it figured it out, and then they change the rules.
And then they change the rules on you. So it started off with focusing on reducing the instances of type 2 diabetes diagnosis, also addressing some asthma and infectious disease. And as the years have gone by, we've kind of streamlined. And so our focus right now is really, again, type 2 diabetes and weight management, trying to make sure people are as healthy as they can be. And you know, we know that if you can manage your weight in a healthy manner, it's going to reduce your I guess the instance for any type of chronic disease, not just diabetes, but hypertension, high cholesterol, any of those things. So focus has kind of shifted a little bit. And so starting our Healthy South Texas year started September 1. And so we're really focusing on those core programs that are going to help with chronic disease and weight management. Our partner, the Health Science Center, has taken over, and they are now conducting all the diabetes programs. So they've got several options. You know, you've probably done diabetes education as well as I've done it in the past. We've done, you know, we've had a couple of different curricula that we used. So they have a couple of different options. I think there's like a 1 day and then like a maybe two-day where it's broken up half and half on 2 separate days. But anyway, they're handling that part. We're doing more of our healthy cooking schools, which is dinner tonight, which I know we're going to talk about in a little while. And then also Walk Across Texas, which I'm sure you've talked about Walk Across Texas
Once or twice,
yeah. So that as well. Also, you know, we do have some youth programming in Healthy South Texas as well, and it's the Learn, Grow, Eat, Go program, which I know you do as well, so you've discussed that. But that's really what it is. It's focusing on, and then we do have a weight management, which is Step Up, Scale Down. I don't know if that's something you've done in the past or... Okay, we haven't done as much of it either in Nueces County, but it is one of the new programs that that we will be venturing into, and it is a 14-week weight loss program. So we're really focused on those core programs, kind of banner programs that we've had for quite a while. And the thing with the Healthy South Texas is, yes, we are in those 27 counties, but anybody can participate in any of those programs. All they have to do is reach out to their local county extension office and speak with their family and community health agent, and because of the time that we're in, like you mentioned, like, you know, COVID right now, and our inability to really get out there face to face like we used to, a lot of these programs are now available virtually on our website. Some of them are free of charge, some of them have a small fee, but it kind of opens that up a little bit more to a wider audience as well.
Right. Because what you're mentioning, so step up, scale down. I've looked at it, thinking about doing it. So again, being really responsive to the needs of the people in the county. I really haven't had time to fit it in a whole lot with everything else to do.
I get it. Right.
But what you're talking about now, I think, is really exciting that there's opportunities online. So maybe there's only a handful of people in Montgomery County who hear about it and want to participate. But because it is now available online as a virtual aspect, then they can participate in it along with people in South Texas and people in North Texas and people, anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I think it's cool. It's a little scary, but it's cool.
Yeah. No, I agree. And even though I miss the face-to-face, and that's really what drew me, is being out in the community with those individuals and having that one-on-one and those types of relationships with our clientele. I think that we kind of sometimes miss the fact that some people don't want to do that. Yeah. Some people don't really want to come to a program, or they can't for whatever reason, and they're missing out on a whole slew of things that they could be participating in, and this will give that person that option to be a part of our program and hopefully learn what we're about, and that will lead them into wanting to participate in some other programs.
Right. And another thing about Healthy South Texas and the partnership and the funding that came along with that was also additional personnel, right? So you got an awesome coworker out of it.
I did. I got an awesome coworker. Her name is Lynn Mutz, and she is the health agent. She is funded through the funding stream that Healthy Texas is funded with. But she is in our office, and her goals are a little bit different because, of course, as an FCH agent, we can kind of go and do a little bit more. Her goals are specific to the Healthy South Texas goals, but those programs that I just talked about are all things that she does. So it really helps because like I talked about, Nueces County isn't a really small county. There's plenty of county for all of us to program in, but it kind of helps us to be, supportive of each other, but also be able to take our own programming across the county and be able to reach more individuals and work with more agencies, just partners in general. So we were very, very lucky to get her and fortunate to have her. And she's a great addition to our office.
Right. And I think a lot of what helps us in all of our programming, so whether it's Healthy South Texas or just health programming that we do as family and community health agents, is those partnerships that we have with other agencies. And I know for us here in Montgomery County, a lot of the programming we do is with other agencies so that they have like the audience and the clientele, and then we're able to come in and help teach the health topics, and then they find others who teach other kinds of things. But just having the partners is a huge part of that.
Exactly. We do the same thing. Probably for the most part, and this is just speaking for our county, and it's because of the way it's probably just worked for so many years, is that a lot of those partners are the ones that are recruiting the clientele. We're working with nurses, we're working with health districts, we're working, with churches or whoever, and that is where that clientele, they know what the need of that audience is, and just having that partnership with them, they can tell us, okay, well, this is where we see issues, or this is what we hear, and okay, well, this is a program we have that can help address that, or they can, and so them doing that recruiting really helps us quite a bit as well, because it's not easy to put everything together, especially when you're doing adding recipe demonstrations, or you're adding activities to certain programs where you've got to have a lot of other things, there's a lot of moving parts. And so if somebody can help with that recruitment process, it makes your job so much easier. And we're, like I said, very fortunate where a lot of that recruitment happens through those partners, and they are excellent with doing that because they make sure that they know when the next program's going to be or the next lesson is and what time and all that. And so it kind of leaves us the opportunity to just work and focus on the program and the teaching.
Right. So just to add to that, anybody who's listening that's, has a group, and either a really formal group like an organization or even community groups and churches and civic clubs and that kind of thing. We've done presentations and lessons and classes and series for all a variety of people. And so we want people to call us because we have a lot to offer.
Yeah, and we get a lot of that too as well. Like, a friend of mine is going to your diabetes class at such and such location. How do I, get in on that? And so we have them set up on a regular basis. So even though we might be 2 lessons in and it really wouldn't be beneficial for them to come lesson 3, we tell them, okay, the next one is here and that. And so that works really well too. I like that aspect of it. It does, that outreach occurs through word of mouth as well and that type of thing.
And I think we titled this segment or this show, helping Texans live healthier lives. So, call or look us up online, email, just reach out, get a hold of us, because we want to do programming, and we do have some online options for people that want to just do a class online in their Christmas pajama bottoms.
Yeah. Yes.
So we have a website. We have a Facebook page, so Healthy Living in Montgomery County, and we share a lot of great information on that as well. And then each county has a website as well, but Texas AgriLife extension.tamu.edu.
Yes.
And you can actually just Google Texas A&M AgriLife.
Yeah.
So AgriLife, it's where agriculture and life meet. AgriLife. So you can Google that and you can find your local office, find more information, find some of those online classes. If you don't want to talk to one of us, you can find an online class even.
Exactly. You can bypass us totally if you want to.
We like to
talk,
yes,
though.
Yes. Okay, so we are going to talk a little bit more in just a few minutes about some of Norma's favorite programs, and you've done some really innovative stuff. So you're going to give us some tips for people to take home with them about interesting stuff about sorghum, diabetes, and wild game. Yep. That's an odd combination, the way I said that. I said it in a real odd order. But anyway, we're going to regroup, and we'll be back in just a few minutes with the Extension Hour here on 104.5 and 106.1 at irlonestar.com. We'll be back in just a minute.
You're going to need me.
You're going to need us.
All of us.
You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food.
You're going to need our determination, our compassion.
You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring.
And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
Today, 4-H is growing the next generation of leaders.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1 and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
Have a legal question? Are you a resident of Montgomery County? Call 281-645-6344 to talk to a volunteer attorney from the Woodlands Bar Association. We answer the phones on the first Monday of every month at 281-645-6344 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to provide general legal information and information about legal resources to Montgomery County residents.
This is Rick, TRC. Every Tuesday on my show, Afternoons with Lone Star from 3 to 7, I play back-to-back classic rock hits. That's right. I like to call it a 2 for Tuesday or a 3 for whatever it is you'd like. Call the request line 936-647-3776 or message me on Facebook, Afternoons with Lone Star, make a music request. That's right, you can do it. Here's what else. Go over to our website, irlonestar.com. Get the app on your phone. It's easy, you'll like it.
And we're back talking about healthy lifestyles for Texans, and we do it all over the state of Texas. And I was kind of tripping over my brain, trying to think of what the website is. So, and Norma during the break was telling me that a good way to find your local county is counties.agrilife.org. And it's listed by alphabetical order, so if you want to know who's in your county, who serves your county, you can find it there. And then I also mentioned that we have a Facebook page that ours is called Healthy Living in Montgomery County. And do you have a county Facebook page? Yeah,
it's a mouthful, so I will say that it's actually. I know we like lots of words and initials, right? So it's Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service, Nueces County, FCH.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep. So we also have Texas A&M AgriLife Montgomery County. It's a Facebook page, but Texas A&M AgriLife Montgomery. So and that's actually, so this show plays on Facebook Live on that as well. And then our 4-H office has a Facebook page, and our Master Gardeners have a Facebook page. So, Facebook is one way to get information out for those people who access that. So one of the things that I think is cool that you guys have been doing in District 11, another really long Facebook page title, District 11 Extension Association of Family and Consumer Sciences, or just FCS?
I think it's spelled out Family and Consumer Sciences. I guess I should have looked that up, right?
Well, hopefully by the time you get to that point, it's like auto-filled. Yeah. Hopefully there's not a whole lot more. But anyway, you guys have been doing a Focus Friday. So every Friday at 11?
11 a.m. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because so District 11, that was clever.
Yes. So, 11. We kind of tried to get all those words to rhyme and fit in some way or another. So what happened was back when we all kind of got sent into isolation and some of our offices closed down to the public, a couple of us started talking about ways to just stay in touch with the clientele and those partners that we already had. Not really, the goal was never really, let's do a formal program, let's try to reach others. It was just like, we don't know how long we're going to be in this situation. Mm-hmm. Let's just find a way to keep our faces out there, keep some communication going. And Amy, as you know, we have professional associations within Extension. So there's an ag association, there's a 4-H, and there's a family and consumer science, which used to be our title. And so each district in Texas has their own association membership. So I think a lot of times people wonder, what do you do in your professional association? What's the purpose in this professional development association? And so we thought, that might be a good way to kind of give back and also talk about what our association, what's the purpose in it. I think people realize we go to conferences, we, have workshops, but what is it that you're doing? What are you learning, right? So we put together our state association is Texas Extension Association for Family and Consumer Sciences, so we each have a district one. So that's where we came up with the name. And so what we decided was that we would do a D11 EAFCS Presents Focus Friday with your family and community health agent, if you really want a long title. So we just call it Focus Fridays. But yes, we did the 11 a.m. because it's District 11. And so what we thought is like, what are we going to talk about? How are we going to just kind of keep our faces out there? So totally voluntary. Any member or any agent that's a part of this membership can just sign up for a Focus Friday. When we started talking about it, we talked about let's try to address topics that are current, like relevant right now. Obviously, we know we're not going to have a formal teaching method in 5 minutes or even 15 minutes. But we thought if we can put out some information that one person takes one thing away, then it was worth it, right? And so what we did was we decided to think about all the different topics. I think our very first one was the last Friday in April, and it was, different options for your stimulus check. A lot of people got stimulus checks, and obviously it was to stimulate the economy, but, in these times right now, there are people without jobs. So what are some things that you can do with that stimulus check? You may need to be able to just pay your bills with it. You may need to be able to just feed your family with it. You may be able to put it in your savings. You may be able to go and spend it all. So it was kind of that thing. So we've done like stress eating, coping with stress, working out from home. What are the things that you have at home when the gyms were all closed? Boosting your immune system, expiration dates. Oh my gosh, those first few weeks that I was at working from home, I cleaned almost every closet and every cabinet. And I was like, oh my gosh, these spices are old. I should know better, right? So topics that are just relevant anytime, but really things that people can do right now. We've had some awesome feedback. And our videos are reaching about 600 people.
Nice.
So what we do is on a Tuesday, we post a resource. On Wednesday, it's the introduction of the agent that's going to host the segment on Friday. And then on Thursday, it's another resource. And then we go live, Facebook live at 11 a.m. on Friday with that topic. You might get a 5, 6, 7-minute segment. You might get a 15-minute segment, but it really doesn't go much longer than that. And so we have already we're starting on round 2, so we've got everything planned out through the end of December. So that's been really fun because I think it takes the pressure off the whole formal program, evaluation, all this, and we're still educating, we're still providing information, but that page has increased in likes. I've seen more traffic on my county Facebook page because of it as well. So I think that our little, and we're looking at different formats. Last week I was on with Dr. Elaine Freeze, who's the Associate Director for Healthy South Texas, and we did kind of like what you and I are doing. We're talking about different things. So we're kind of venturing out. In the past, it's just been the agent with their mic or their camera or their phone, whatever it is, and now we're kind of doing a dialogue thing. So we are probably going to start incorporating some specialists and talking about different things. So we're kind of looking at, moving forward what we're going to do different, but it's allowed us just the opportunity to stay in touch and even with each other.
Yeah. Do you have a topic coming up that you're excited about? I mean, I'm sure you're excited about all of them, but.
Yeah. So this week is, today at 11 a.m. was sun safety. And so it really was.
S-U-N.
Yes, SUN safety. Talking about how even though we're moving into, we're in September, it's getting a little bit cooler, it's getting a little nicer, you still have to be aware of that. I know in December we're doing kind of like a little montage of all of us. We're all going to do a little video clip, and so that will be posted. Like I said, we've had to do a couple that were recorded just because of schedules, but they're mostly live. And they're on our Facebook page, so you can go back and listen to those at any time. But we've got a lot of good stuff coming up. We've done some canning, and that's kind of a little regular thing that's happening at least like once a month. There's a canning segment. So kind of the time of year, right? To get that done as well. So lots of good things.
Yeah. And so I would also mention too, like, so the association that you talked about, our Professional Development Association, and it kind of helps us all be better professionals.
Right.
And somebody may be wondering now, Norma's here and she's talking and she's from Corpus. Why is she in Montgomery County today? So we just took advantage of this opportunity because our state association is Texas Extension Association of Family and Consumer Sciences, and I have been the state treasurer, but I am handing all of my paperwork over to Norma. She will be the state treasurer, and it was just like a little bit too much to, just to dump on you.
Yeah.
So appreciate you coming down.
Absolutely.
So I can get rid of that stuff, and also so that we could do this radio show because, like I said, I think it's great to learn more about each other. And we are just actually talking about family and community health, which is a part of several other programs that we do in Extension. So, just that's one, it's only a snapshot of the whole picture.
Lots of other things. Yeah.
So we are going to take another little break. We're going to talk about Norma's favorite projects and top 5 tips that you give to people when you teach classes. We'll be back in just a few minutes. You're listening to the Extension Hour, and I'm Amy Ressler. Got Norma Munoz with me, and we'll be back in just a bit.
Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service is all about extending knowledge and providing solutions. We do that by using science-based information to create high-quality and relevant education for the people of Texas. More importantly, this outstanding education is delivered locally, right here in our county. We encourage lasting and effective change that helps our communities and our county thrive. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
A Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show, with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
Did you know that there are over 153 million orphans in the world today? The sad reality is 99% of those kids will likely never be adopted. Core Love is an organization right here in Conroe that takes care of orphan children in Haiti, Honduras, and India. We bring the love of Jesus by providing their 6 basic needs of clean water, proper food, healthcare, education, job skills, and a loving home. Visit corelove.org. That's CORELUV.org. Will you help defend the orphan?
We're back again. We're talking with Norma Munoz, County Extension Agent from Nueces County, and we've been talking about all of the great things that we do, and we have a lot of similar things. And I think if you've heard Norma mention anything that you think that you would like to also be able to take advantage of to participate in a class or to hear about, learn more about, pretty much all of these can be offered everywhere. So we talked about Healthy South Texas specifically, but really it's Healthy Texas. In fact, one of my program plans, I just went ahead and named it Healthy Texas because that's what we do. So very similar things. And then as we mentioned before, even if it's not like available in person in your community, it's available some way. So, and now I had somebody on the show one time. We were talking about, navigating through uncertain times, and she was saying how her and her family started looking for things to be grateful for, and so they started saying, "Thank you, COVID." So, thank you, COVID, for whatever, fill in the blank. So, my thing is, thank you, COVID, for making virtual learning more accessible.
Right.
And I know that there's probably some families that are cringing at that, thinking, I am so tired of virtual learning, with school and online and that kind of thing. But, things are going to evolve, they're going to change. And I think that we'll have a really nice blend later where people do have options in person, online, but it'll be available to everybody because really, like we said, our goal is helping Texans better their lives. And also a goal that we have in Extension is impacting every Texan.
Exactly.
So that's a lot of people, and that means that there's a lot that needs to be put out there. Yeah.
In different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So let's talk about some of those different ways. Like, what are some of your favorite programs that you do?
So I think, and like I mentioned, I am a Healthy South Texas County, so we do have some direction there and some guidelines. So one of the things that I've enjoyed this program ever since I came into the county, I've been doing Maintain No Gain. Mm-hmm. So that is our kind of quote unquote holiday program. And basically the goal of Maintain No Gain is to stay within 2 pounds of your pre-holiday weight throughout the holiday season. So, research shows that on average, some people gain up to 10 pounds during the holidays. So Maintain No Gain starts the week of Thanksgiving and goes through the week of the New Year. And so, like I said, just maintain with the 2 weeks. There are weekly weigh-ins. We do different things. I used to do this all in person, and then it got too big. I couldn't be in all these locations weighing people every week. So we've had a lot of partners that have taken over the weigh-in process for their location. So it allows me some time to be able to do the ones that don't have somebody that can facilitate that for them. But, in addition to that, they get a weekly e-blast from me that gives out some kind of adapted holiday recipe. So, Thanksgiving, we talk about how can, maybe we're comparing pumpkin pie to pecan pie, or what's a healthier version of a pecan pie. We've got a great recipe that's a pumpkin parfait. Do you remember seeing that dinner tonight?
Yeah. And I love pumpkin anyway.
Me too. And so they get this email, and then also gives them some physical activity tips and ways to improve or increase their fruit and vegetable consumption. So, and as I move in through the holidays, those recipes change. And then like towards the end of December and into January, it might be like some tailgating recipes that are adapted in healthier versions. But they get that every week. So I love that because it has turned competitive in some of these with some of these places. Yeah, that. Like it's not what it was meant to be, but if that's what works for you, then that's great. So it really the majority, I think, and I mean, of course, can't be quoted on this. I think this last season in 2019, 2020, I think there was only 9% that actually gained weight. And the most that was gained, if I remember correctly, was like 6 pounds.
Wow.
So, I mean, unfortunate for that one person, but it was a learning, process for them. And they were like, yeah, but if I might have gained more if I hadn't been. So anyway, I love that. And what we, love doing Maintain No Gain. And then the other thing that we do in Nueces County is that to keep people motivated, because you do find that they do a little bit more physical activity, parking a little bit further, taking the stairs, that normal kind of stuff, is that we go ahead and we follow that up with Walk Across Texas, which is our 8-week walking program. And I know you've done that for quite a while, so I don't want to spend too much time on that, but we do that in March. And we follow that up. We give people about a month or so, start getting them signed up. And we really have a lot of those people that come back to that program, because then that starts a whole different level of competition, and so, but it keeps them motivated through those next couple of months. And, we know that in January, everybody decides we're going to the gym, and then that really doesn't sometimes stick. Exactly. So leading them into March, into Walk Across Texas, and promoting that when Maintain No Gain is wrapping up, we've had a lot of people come back.
Yeah, and I think, so you mentioned these two in particular, and I think some other programs also do this, but it's kind of things that we know that we should be doing anyway. Like most people know that you need to watch what you eat during the holidays, and people know that you need to get more physical activity. But you mentioned motivation a couple of times, and I think participating in any of these programs isn't you learn something along the way, most definitely, but that motivation or that reason just to go ahead and do it and really make that behavioral change that is necessary to make the changes that you want.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, because and it's that accountability as well.
And what else do you like?
So other one is Dinner Tonight.
Yes.
Dinner Tonight has had it's been around for over 20 years in extension, but it's taken a different look from the time that it started and what all was available to now. Now we're calling them Dinner Tonight Healthy Cooking Schools. And we started a few years back with some partnerships and developed a couple of different ones. So we've got like Wild Game Edition, we have Path to the Plate, we have Diabetes Edition, we've got a Heart of Texas edition. But in Nueces County, we've really focused on the Path to the Plate and highlighting sorghum. Nueces County is one of the top 2 sorghum growers in the nation. And after we did our initial wild game one that had a different look, kind of like a sit-down dinner, full meal type of thing, my ag agent came to me and he's like, I really want to do a dinner tonight and focus on sorghum. And so we started looking at that, and we really found that it was a great way to include, and we talked about multidisciplinary, right? One of the great ways to include everybody in our office, because everybody has a part of that. And so it's really talking about how agriculture production meets health and nutrition, health and wellness, that type of thing. So it takes about an hour and a half, full sit-down dinner, and as the courses are being served, we've got a celebrity chef, and then myself and the health agent, and we're up there, and we're actually demonstrating the recipe that the audience or the members are enjoying. And so we've done probably the sorghum one about 3 times, different audiences. And so we actually also bring in, we've got a state partnership with Farm Bureau. And so we bring in one of the recipes, or one of the salads had spinach in it. So they've got a really great video out there on some spinach growers. And then also we did a kind of one that had a surf and turf, but with a sorghum side. And so we bring in those videos. So it's a whole process. Our ag agent MCs, we've got a couple of our other agents handling the technology part. And then of course, for those that aren't close enough to the stage, we've got overhead cameras, and those are being projected so everybody can see. So it's really a great way to include everybody in the office.
Right. And you've set the bar high for the rest of us. Thanks, Norma. Thank you very much. So, but there is dinnertonight.org or .tamu.edu. We think either one of them will get you to it. So Dinner Tonight is a website that's got a lot of recipes and demonstrations and tips and all those kinds of things.
Exactly. And so even all those that I talked about, the different editions, they can all those recipes can be found there. But they put out that content weekly. And also on Facebook, if you follow Dinner Tonight on Facebook, those videos come out weekly as well, and there's always a commodity for the week. So in October, we will be having a couple of weeks of sorghum.
Ah, nice, because that's a very interesting topic, and I wish that we had more time to talk about that. But we could probably talk all day, which we have been talking all day, and I'm sure we'll talk some more. But we got to let the listeners go on to the next show. Couple of let's do top three healthy tips.
Okay, so when we're talking about diabetes, know your carb allowance. If you have not had that conversation with your doctor, do that, or find yourself a registered dietitian that can help you figure out what your carb allowance is for the day. It's going to be dependent on medication and also your activity level. Know that, because that is what's going to help you keep your your blood glucose level all day long, and that's going to help you be healthier. Also, dinner tonight, menu planning. I think some of us cringe at that, but it really helps you save money and helps you save calories. And don't be afraid to adapt. Don't be afraid to adapt those recipes. They're a guideline, but if you don't like something, have an allergy, change that, and don't be afraid to try new things.
Okay. Oh, that's the third one. Don't be afraid to try new things.
Try new things. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Awesome. So many great tips. And Norma, it's just been so nice to have you here to visit and to be able to turn over all my treasurer responsibilities to you. But like I said, it really is a great opportunity to kind of expand a little bit more on what we do. In Extension. And so every show we do, we have a little different topic. In fact, in a couple of weeks from now, we're going to have our master gardeners come, and we're going to talk all about fall gardening. And then we've got the 4-H department's going to come, and we're going to talk a little bit about 4-H. We're basically going to call it 4-H 101, because that's a whole big part of what we do in Extension that will take some we'll talk about. And I'm just getting so excited about all the things that we have to talk about. But I
appreciate the invitation. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, glad you're here. All right, so this is the Extension Hour. We're on 104.5, 106.1. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. Check us out, irlonestar.com. Thanks so much for being with us today, and we'll see you next time.
Today's show was recorded and broadcasted live on irlonestar.com, Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and all rights and ownership are reserved to Lone Star Community Radio. For more information regarding this program and Lone Star Community Radio, visit us online at irlonestar.com. Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, serving the community with local programming on TV, radio, and online. If you enjoyed today's program, please support us by sponsorship or starting your own show. Contact us today by phone or text at 936-666-1084 or email the station at lscrstudios@gmail.com.